span, self-spacing and
You
self-span.
order list,
Unordered list.
unordered list.
Order
Yes.
list,
List.
unordered list.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Self-spacing,
List.
self-padding,
Yes. List
cross-span
and
and
a table.
half-span.
List
Span.
and a table. We saw about table and list. Inside the table, we saw how to align the table, how to align the cell content, how to display the cell content, what is the opening tag for to write the table, and what is cell spacing and what is cell padding, row span, call span. Okay, all these we saw under table. Okay, under list we saw there are 3 types of list we can use in HTML. Okay, what are those and how will you write the code to display those lists? Okay, and we saw some attribute also inside the list. For example, we can change the default bullet in unordered list and default numbering or sequencing in ordered list. So all these we saw. Now you see the output. This is what as output of the list we saw. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Because here I have given type equal to small Roman numeral 1. Okay. Now I am giving this, but I want to start from. I will add another attribute which is start. Okay, equal to number, from which number I have to start. Okay, so I have to start from 4th small Roman numeral. Okay, so I have to start from 4. Let us check if I have given like this. Now see here, starting from 4, the numbering started. 4, 5, 6. Okay, why it is starting from 4? Why not from 1? Because you have given start from 4. Okay, please understand what will be the valid value for start attribute and a type attribute. Start attribute and a type attribute. Suppose if I have given in a type attribute, always you have to give when you use the type attribute within the OL tag. When you use type attribute within the OL tag, the value of the type attribute should be the first character or first number of the numbering which you want. Okay, here you can't give B or something like that. Okay, you have to give the first letter. Okay, but inside the start you can't give C or something like that. Okay, you have to give only the number, numeral. Okay, from where you have to start from this type of numbering. Okay, now if you given A as type and start from 4, I have to save, and if I refresh, see here the labeling is start from D, D, E, F. Okay, why from D? Because D is a 4th character in lowercase alphabet. Okay, so like this you can use type and start attribute within OL tag. Within the UL tag, yesterday we saw about the UL, day before yesterday we saw about UL tag, unordered list. There we used to only type attribute, okay, to give the bulletin pattern symbol, okay, we use type attribute. But inside the UL tag, there is no need to use start tag, okay. So now start attribute. So start attribute you will use within only OL tag, not in UL tag. But type attribute you will use in both OL tag and also UL tag. Okay. Did we display this description list?
No, ma'am.
No.
List of definitions you want to display. list of definition if you want to display, usually without using DL tag. How will you display? You will write the heading, H tag, any one of the 7 levels of head tag you will write. And then you will write a paragraph to display one heading and the paragraph. And if you want to display another paragraph with heading, again another H tag, then again under that P tag. Okay. But for that we have a separate tag to display list of definitions with heading. To display list of definitions with heading, we have a separate tag which is a DL tag. Okay. So using DL tag, we can display the command like this. Students, remember in OL and UL and all, when we are using LI, no, list item, to display the list item, here instead of, now look at my Word file where I am pointing. Now here, instead of the list item text, even I can write the anchor tag. Okay. So what will happen? The first list item will be the clickable text. Okay. So the complete anchor tag and its attribute you have to write. So the list item could be what? Images. If you write img tag here, you will get image. Or if you write anchor tag here, you will get a clickable text. Even clickable image also you can write, you can create inside the list item. Okay. Here I showed one example just displaying simple text. Okay. So within the LI, opening and closing LI tag, image tag code if you have written, you will get image. Okay. Anchor tag code if you have given, if you write, you will get a hyperlinked text. Okay. So list, what I'm coming to say is, list item is not always necessarily it should be what? Text. It can be images, list of images. It can be list of hyperlinked text or hyperlinked images, be anything. Okay. List tag DL. So DL, definition list, opening and closing tag is what? DL. And to display the heading, you will write definition term. Okay. Definition term. And to display the definition, you will write a definition data. Definition term, definition data. Okay. So this is one set. So the bread is a heading. And under that, I will get a baked food made of law. Okay. And the next heading is what? Coffee. Using the DT tag, I will write this because this is a definition term. And to display the definition or paragraph, you will write a DD tag. Data, definition data. Definition term, definition data. Okay. What is DL? Definition list. DL denotes definition list. DT denotes definition term. DD denotes definition data. OL, ordered list. LI, list item. LI,
DL is description list.
Sorry?
Description list, no DL.
I couldn't hear you clearly. Anybody else can ask same question.
Remember, it is written description list. You said it is definition list.
See, description list, the term will change. Definition list to description list. Okay. So if you take your old textbook and see the prior version, it is definition list. Okay. Now when you search in the net, it could be a description list. Okay. So you can write any one. Definition list or description list. Okay.
Okay.
In our library text, which was printed the earlier version and all, it is definition list. Okay. Now they change the term to description list. Okay, so anyone will do. You can write, no issue.
This is used to write para, ma'am.
Sorry,
This will be used to write a paragraph, right?
list of paragraphs with heading.
Okay.
List of paragraphs with heading. Okay, so definition list or description list, definition term, definition data. Okay. So we will see how the output. Now see here, it is taking many default format. Okay, format features it has taken. So this is the heading and this is the, here I have written a single line. You can write a paragraph also. Okay. And then next heading and next definition. Like that, any number of definition terms and definition data you can create. Okay. This will be, this is not commonly used when you use, when you create a tutorial site. For example, you're creating your own, after you study WP web programming, you are creating your own web, tutorial site, which will teach about the web programming. Okay. So that time more content will come, no? Many definitions will come. So that time you can use definition list. Otherwise, it is not commonly used in other web development, web applications. Okay. Who raised hand?
Hello,
Can
ma'am.
ask question. Huh.
Ma'am, in ordered list, if we need Roman numbering, what we need to type? Can you please explain again?
Okay. In ordered list, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You can write capital I. Okay. Save. Okay. See the output.
Okay, ma'am.
Now we will move to form. Okay, forms. HTML. Forms.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in description tag, can we use this numbering tag like we did in ordered
No.
list?
No, no, no.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
paragraph in the definition thing,
Ah,
it will go back to the default or it will continue like two fingers place wala thing.
sorry, I did not get to your question.
Ma'am, the paragraph that you are writing in the definition tag,
Okay.
you have written one sentence. Now, if I go and write the paragraph in that part, it will go back.
That's what I said. Paragraph also you can write. Okay. It will display the paragraph.
But then the two finger space will be maintained.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. But actually this here we will write the paragraph only. Okay. For example, in tutorial site, you're writing HTML as heading and you want to display one paragraph about the HTML precisely. Okay. So here the paragraph will be displayed by taking the default format of the paragraph. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
We will see form. Okay. What is the use of the form? Any one of you? Why we have to use forms in the page? Yes, to get the details from input from the end user. To get the input from the end user. Okay. So to get the collect the different kinds of user input. Okay. To collect different different type of user input. For example, contact detail, name, email ID, mobile number, and their hobbies, their preferences, like that. There are different kinds of data we will get from the end user through the forms. Okay. So when we want to get the different kinds of information from the user, we will use different controls, different elements, form elements, or different controls, such as input. We already saw input box, okay, password box, radio button, check boxes, submit button and all we did not see. We will see today. Okay, submit button, buttons, normal button, reset button. All these are different form controls we can create to get the input from the end user. Okay. Okay. Now we will see how to create form. Of course, to start with form tag. Right. I just enlarge, then you can read. Okay, today I don't think we can execute and see. Just I explained today, and in tomorrow's lecture I will execute and show. Okay, so this form tag, using the form tag, you will start the form. Okay, within the form tag we will use some attributes. We will discuss about that later. Okay, within the form tag we will use some attributes. Okay. Why I am saying we will discuss about that later. Even without those attributes also you can create form. Okay. If you did not have submit and reset button in the form. Okay. The moment when you add submit button, you know, if you click, the information will go to destination. Okay. So submit button and the reset button, if you use, then you will use, especially submit button if you use, then you have to add some attributes within the form tag. Got it? And then to display the label already we saw, but I have added one attribute which is called for attribute within the label tag. Okay. Now label tag, you know, which is used to give some label for element, for form element. Okay. Now what is a form element here? I am creating a text box. I'm creating text box. This is a code for to create a text box. Okay. Now for this text box, I want to label this text box, so that I used a label tag. Okay. So label for, within the for attribute, you will use the value of the ID attribute which you used in the element, form element. Okay. Now for this form element, you are creating this label. Okay. So for which form element you are creating the table, in that form element you have to add ID attribute. Okay. The value of the ID attribute is user defined. You can give anything. Okay. It's not predefined. Okay. So that ID should be used here inside the form attribute in label tag. Okay. So username I have written, and then what label you want to give. So this will be displayed. Only this will be displayed, username. So this I want to display, I want to give label for this text box. Okay. So label I have created. Okay. Here label is a tag. What attribute I used? For is attribute. Okay. Inside the for, what I have used? I used the value of the ID attribute of the element for which I'm going to give the label. Okay. Okay. So now come to input tag. Using the input tag, we can create many types of form element. One among that is text box. Okay. So using the type attribute within the input tag, within the input tag using the type attribute, I will say to the browser which type of form element I'm going to create. Here I'm going to create text box. Okay, within the input tag, I'm going to create a text box. So I have given text as a value of the type attribute. Okay, so type attribute is a mandatory attribute in the input tag. You have to give only with the help of the input tag without using any attribute, without using type attribute, you can't create any form element. If you want to create any form element, you have to mention type attribute within the input tag. So type attribute is a mandatory attribute in input tag. Okay, why? Because type attribute will only say what kind of element, form element you have to create. Okay, so this value here I have given, no, this is a mandatory value. This is a predefined value or user defined value, any one of you? The value of the type attribute will be predefined or user defined?
Predefined.
Yes, this is predefined. Here I can't give txt. Here I can't give text1 or my name or any number. No, this is predefined. So type equal to text I have given. This name attribute is it's good practice to use the name attribute in all the each and every form element, because later when you use this form element with JavaScript or with PHP, using this name attribute, you will retrieve the value. Okay, students, now I am going to show how to create a dummy form, dummy HTML form. Why? Because using only HTML, you can create a dummy form only. Okay, you may ask, ma'am, what is dummy form? What is active form then? Okay, dummy form, when you create a form, definitely you know it will have submit button. Okay, because whatever data each and every user is entering through the form, that should go to a destination and it should be saved or it should be processed. Okay, so where it has to go? The destination could be client address or server address. Okay, so for that I have to make the form as active form, I have to add JavaScript or PHP or any other client-side scripting language or any server-side scripting language I have to add. But I did not add now. So it's a dummy form, which means I can create simple submit button, but when I click the submit button will not do its actual work because there is no destination. I did not create any destination file, server file. I did not create. Okay, so it will not, the data will not go and save anywhere. Okay, so that's why I'm calling this as a dummy form. If I click submit button, it should go to destination, whether it should be saved or processed. It should fulfill the purpose for what the end user entered the data. If it could not, then it is a dummy form. Then I can make the same form as active form. After I taught you JavaScript and PHP, you can use the same form to embed the PHP or JavaScript code. Then it will become active form. Okay. Okay. So I created the, what's the time now? I have to end till 12:40, right? The lecture.
Ma'am, there is another lecture at 12:40.
Yes, we have a lecture.
Okay. Okay. Oh, 12:25, 11:35 to 12:25. Okay. Okay, students. Thank you. You can leave. Students, remember, every lecture or in between randomly in lecture, I will ask the question. Okay. You have to answer. I will not repeat this. So if your parents keep on saying, please study, it will not go to your mind. Okay, you have to realize you have to study. Okay. So like that, I will not, as a teacher, I will not repeat you have to study. I will not threaten you, you have to do this, you have to do that and all. Okay, you all are mature. You know what is your responsibility. So you have to do. You have to do your day-to-day work. Okay. Okay, thank you. You can leave.
Now will you
you.
please upload
Thank you,
to
ma'am.
this part and file session?
Sorry. Sorry. Thank you, students. Sorry.
Will you please update up to this part and file session?
Okay, now this file I have to update, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in Teams. Yes, I will do. I will.
Yes, ma'am.